with your palette cleansers. Show me what you got.
Welcome in, everybody, to a brand new episode of Audionots, your pop culture podcast. I am Eric Oldboy, online with the notorious R.E.N. What's going on, my man?
What it do? Episode 10. Let's go.
Oh, episode 10, season 2.
Yeah.
So this is, the second season, episode 10. If you've been listening, you are, what do they call the people that listen on radio all the time? You're something one. What do they call them? So like when you're like an ultimate fan.
Yeah, like the regular texter.
Yeah, it's something one, isn't it?
Something like FF's one? No, I don't know.
I don't remember. We'll remember someday, and then we'll be like, you guys are that. But for now, you're just audio nuts, and you're listening to the best podcast ever, if I could learn how to say English words in the correct order.
English is hard, man.
It is hard. Like I start off and I think I'm prepared, and then all of a sudden I'm like, ugh. You know what? I think my problem is I moved locations, so I'm moving on up in the world. I dragged myself out of the garage, and I'm up inside of a room now, an actual bedroom upstairs.
Nice.
So hopefully this will help also with some of the exterior noises and whatnot.
Are you gonna change your lighting?
My lighting?
Yeah, looks a little yellow.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I could. I have like this cool ring light thing, so you see it right there in my glasses. But yeah, so the lighting's different in here, so I had to figure it out.
Yeah, you're almost my tone now.
Ha! Maybe I'm just sick. What is it when little babies are yellow? They like, forget what that is.
Yellow fever.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just yellow, and it's not the lighting at all.
But yeah,
what's going on?
Everything's good. I mean, we got done with the wildfires.
Yeah, we're over the fires. No more smoke.
Yeah, we could finally breathe because of the rain. There's still COVID, so we're still staying home, trying to be safe, keeping social distance.
Yeah, it's like the golden age of podcasts. So if you were into podcasts or thought about dipping your toes in podcasts, there are so many podcasts. So if you don't like our podcast, try someone else's.
Yeah. Next. I have this idea where it'd be cool if we when we do our podcast, we could stream it live.
Oh.
So we could have our audience chime in while we're talking, and we could interact with them.
Right? Run some polls.
Live. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
They'd be like, you guys are idiots. Worst opinions I've ever heard.
Well, that's the whole point of the show, right?
Yeah, it was the Audionots that we're not good at audio, but we're getting a little bit better at audio. Yeah. So we'll have to call ourselves the lighting knots because we're not good at lighting.
Yeah. Well, I see you got a new mic. No,
What is new microphone. It's a windsock or something. I think that's what they call it. Pop filter. So this microphone has an internal pop filter, but I thought just to be extra safe, maybe it'd make me sound even better, or I could just pretend to talk like this the entire time.
Well, it makes you look more profesh.
Yeah, this is my Howard Stern microphone now. So welcome in everybody to an almost Howard Stern type episode.
I need to find a way to get rid of this bar right here.
I think it's because it's in front of you. That's what I was saying too. I want to eventually get rid of because those who watch us on YouTube will see that we use virtual backgrounds rather than the actual backdrops. But now that I'm up in this bedroom, I might just decorate the bedroom to look really cool. And then you won't have to worry so much about disappearing into your virtual background like tends to happen.
So when you figure out your bedroom, take a photo for me too. So I'll use it as my virtual background.
They'll be like, oh yeah, they're totally hanging out. They're in the same place.
Same room.
Yeah, same room. Well, I was telling Kid Danger that I had this idea. I said, so Visualante is like the parent company. Visualante is where you guys should all be going to get your hot graphic design. Audionots is like the little baby sister company where we do our podcasting foolishness. Well, because he's become kind of a PC gamer guy. Yeah. I told him we could create our own like streaming game thing. We'll set it up in this room because we have this extra bonus room now. We'll put his computer on one side of the desk. We'll put the podcasting gear on the other side, and then he can play the games, and I can sit there and just comment on it like the idiot that I am, not knowing what's happening. And so it'd be Kid Danger and Eric Oldboy, and I have an idea because I was thinking the names that we use are all kind of similar in the way we put them together. So visual anti, we took a word and then we incorporated what it is into it. So instead of vigilante, you have visualante.
Yeah.
Instead of astronaut, you have audionaut.
Right.
And so I thought, well, what could we do that has the word game or gamer in it? And it was really hard. I've been thinking, and the best I've been able to come up with so far is the Navigamers. It's like a navigator, but with the word game. So Navigamers, like Navigamers, starring Eric Oldboy and Kid Danger,
Right.
or whatever he wants to call himself, you know? And then he can sit there and talk S about whatever it is he's playing. I'll just be like confused the whole time.
You could do your silly voices.
Yeah, like I can do impressions of voices if I'm listening to the voices somewhere else. So
Right.
we did that before where I would pretend to be like it and other things when he was playing his like Fortnite. And it can work if I can hear it at the same time. Now, if I'm just trying to like come up with it on my own, can't do it.
Well, for me, I usually use my headset, but
Yeah.
when I get lazy, I have a camera that's connected to my PS4,
Yeah.
and that's used as a mic, so I could talk through it without having an actual mic.
Oh, yeah.
The camera is my mic,
Yeah.
and so I could just talk to the TV normally, and I hear everything too.
Nice.
So
I
maybe
wonder, if we could both broadcast at the same time with him just using his gaming mic.
yeah. So I don't know.
I know. It's just a thought. These are the
Do
kind
you-
of thoughts I have.
Do you remember how we got the name Visual Anti?
How we came across it?
How we
fe-
came up with it?
I feel like I don't remember exactly. Do you remember? I thought it was like one of us just randomly said it and we're like, dude, let's make a company because that's such a cool idea.
Yeah. Remember, I was like, sometimes when I design a home, I like to put on my Captain America mask and design. And then we're like, yeah, like, and I was like, yeah, like a visual anti. And then it's kind of like, oh, there it is. And
There it is.
boom. That
It
was
just
the
came.
birth. Yeah. It was American's ass, man. It's because of
Such a
him.
good name. Such a good name. Visualante is a fantastic name.
Yeah.
Audionots, I think, is a fantastic name too.
Yeah.
When I tell people that we do a podcast outside of, in the real world, they're always like, wow, really? And then I show them some of the stuff. I'm like, damn, you guys are legit. So I was showing some people last night. I'm like, look, yeah, I do a podcast. And I was showing them my gear and the logo and all the stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys aren't messing around.
What am I the side host? No.
Co-host.
Co-host?
Yeah, we're co-hosts.
Oh,
Each
okay.
one of us, we're equal hosts. So I think the format to me is I rattle off the story and you comment on it. So like if we were in sports, you would be the color commentator.
Right.
So the one guy's calling the plays, and the other guy's like commenting on what's happening.
Nice.
And so I picked, so everybody knows how the sausage is made. I basically come up with the stories and then I bring them on my little iPad, and then Rin comments on them during the show. And we go back and forth, and then he does all the labor afterwards. So once it's done, he goes back in, he does all the editing, he adds in all the sound effects and the music, and then uploads it. So it's pretty fair duty.
Yeah, my bad on that weird pause on the last episode.
Yeah, so anybody who was listening to the last episode and was questioning why there was a 5-minute pause before the break, it was an accident.
Yeah, that was my bad.
That's fine. These things happen. So what have you been up to? What have you been watching?
Oh, right now I am like solely dedicated to the Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What season are you in?
I'm starting up on season 2, so I got a long way.
So you're just getting going. But I feel like by season 2 you start to actually enjoy it. Season 1 it takes, at least it took me a while to really get into it because I hadn't watched a lot of cartoons like that.
Yeah, I think some of the episodes so far it's like, man, it's actually really good. Like the fighting is really good, and I was surprised how much like death that you see. Like
Right.
Count Dooku's like, oh shit.
Well, when it was all said and done, honestly, the Clone Wars was the best Star Wars story that I had seen put to media since the OG Star Wars. It's much better. The Clone Wars TV series, it's a cartoon, I know that, is better than any of the new movies except for maybe The Force Awakens, maybe. But the Clone Wars is just so well done that you shouldn't feel bad as an adult man or adult woman watching this cartoon because it's just really well done.
Well, I don't feel bad at all because I watch a lot of anime, and so
That's your speed. But like
it's
if
normal.
someone like normally like, oh, I can't watch a cartoon, I don't think they should feel bad about it.
Yeah, there's no shame in that.
No shame at all.
Well,
What
I've
else
been
you been
mainly
up to?
watching that, and then I've
Yeah?
been watching like other shows here and there just to keep it going, keep my my knowledge and stuff going.
Good.
For example, let's jump to Netflix.
Oh, okay. So wait. This is the healthy stream. All
Hold
right.
on.
Tell us what you've been watching on Netflix.
So I finished Cobra Kai.
Okay, let's hear. So this is like here. I'm gonna tell you one thing I've heard offline from a few of our fans. The one criticism I've heard about our show is they say you and Ren agree on too many things. You guys like the same stuff, and it's true. We have very similar taste, and I think a lot of people, when they listen to these kind of shows, they kind of enjoy hearing the back and forth. Because maybe they don't agree with me or they don't agree with you, but we're always like, yeah, I like it. I'm like, I give it a 6, and you're like, I give it a 6. It's always kind of the same. But here we go, because offline, I know you told me that you had a very different opinion.
Yeah.
Of Cobra Kai than I did. So let's do this. Let's disagree.
Yeah, because you said season 1 was 8.
Yes.
And then season 2 went to 4.
Correct.
And then for me, it went down a little bit, but it stayed at a steady 7.
So that's much better, because so like I guess my feeling, in my opinion, was that season 2 focused so much on the kids, and one of the kids, specifically Karate Kid's daughter, is such a terrible actress that the whole thing felt like a Nickelodeon show. But you said you didn't really get that vibe.
Well, I think probably because you complained so much about it, I was kind of aware of it, so I just kind of like let it go, and I already knew that I didn't like her as a character and an actress. Her and freaking Robbie, God, they're the worst.
Oh yeah, well that's what I'm saying. There's so many. Like I feel like Diego or whatever his name is,
Miguel.
Is that right? Miguel. That kid, he's the best actor by far of all of them. Like even of the adults, he's the best actor. He's like the one, when it's all said and done, should like get like into movies or something.
Yeah.
And I think the second best actor on the show is Johnny himself. I think somehow he's a better actor than the Karate Kid, because Ralph Macchio, he just plays a very blasé character.
Yeah.
But the rest of the kids all kind of suck and are over the top, and they're not great actors.
You think it's because when it first came out, it was on YouTube, so they just kind of like got a bunch of like no-namers, and
probably didn't have very much budget.
Yeah,
but they knew that the title would carry them.
But I didn't really mind. The only thing was like it's very got a little teeny bopper, like teenage high school drama.
Right. There's a lot of that. That was my problem.
But then the last battle royale was freaking dope, dude.
see that pushed me over the edge. So that's a big difference too. You seem like you really like the all-out high school butt-kicking battle royale.
Yeah, that was like the best scene.
And I swear to you, because that particular fight lasted for a good 10 minutes of the show, of them just kicking the crap out of each other into lockers and whatnot.
Yeah.
I started laughing out loud. I was like eating my salad. And I just started, I had like uncontrollable laughter. And that scene's not meant to be funny. And then the very last scene where what's his face gets real hurt. Dude, I was laughing my ass off at that point. I'm like,
you're supposed to feel bad.
You're supposed to. Exactly. You're supposed to feel bad. You're supposed to be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But instead I was like cracking up.
I thought that, throughout the series, the fighting was a little choreographed.
Yeah.
And then towards this battle, man, the fighting was actually like legit. Like they're like going fast and stuff like that, throwing like cool stunts. Like it reminds me of like John Wick or Atomic Blonde. Those scenes.
Oh, get out of here! You can't compare.
Cannot
compare the Karate Kid to John Wick.
Like the style, like how it's like it's like slow but fast,
Yeah.
So in like reality, it's just like slow punches, but when it's post, they make it fast and hard. I'm like, oh shit,
speed it up.
Yeah, that's cool. I dig it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I thought the whole thing was hokey, but I think people are in agreement with you because I did see that not only are they currently making season 3, they've already greenlit season 4.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, so if you're into Karate Kid or Cobra Kai, it's not going anywhere for a while, and I imagine you'll get at least 20 more episodes.
Cobra Kai for life. But
Cobra Kai.
here's some spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
My theory going
Okay.
in
Oh,
for
okay.
next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
2 seasons. Could we now know that the teacher is like the main
He's
bad
the
guy?
villain. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kreese, John
yeah.
Kreese.
And he took a bunch of Johnny's students,
The
and then
dicks.
yeah,
Probably a Hawk, right? Hawk has
Yeah.
finally gone full baddie.
yeah, Hawk's probably the leader,
Yeah.
and then you got Miguel that's hurt, so we're not sure if he's gonna, he'll make a comeback. He
So
has
you
to make
think,
a
let's
comeback.
call that right now. You're saying that Miguel is going to recover from his injury. And
Yeah.
I'm saying that Miguel is going to go full Friday Night Lights and be wheelchair bound for the rest of the time. And that's going to be part of his story that he can't compete. And so now he has to like encourage people from the chair
Throughout the whole season until season 4.
until forever, just until the
Oh,
end.
okay.
And then that's why, the show is so corny. It's getting cornier and cornier. And one of them might pick him up and just start whipping him around and hitting him with his dead legs.
Or he just recover. Like, oh, nothing happened. That was just my back. We're good.
Dude, in real life, you don't recover from that injury.
But then, like, if you don't have Miguel, who's gonna be the main protagonist? Is it gonna be
Well,
Robbie?
I'm not saying that Miguel's still not in it. I think that, like I think I mentioned last episode, is I don't think the show's specifically about karate, right? So karate's what draws you in because it's Cobra Kai, but it's really
Yeah.
about these people's journeys and their emotions. And I think that Miguel can still be the main protagonist and not run around karate fighting everybody because now he's got a whole nother thing that he has to deal with, right? He still has all these kids, his girlfriend who used to be his girlfriend, his new girlfriend that hates his old girlfriend, all that drama. Plus, he'll still be involved maybe as a teacher and a coach. But now he's got this injury, this new lifestyle he has to adapt to, and I think that's the way they're gonna go. But maybe I'm wrong. If he just like, I swear to God, if we tune in to season 3, episode 1, and homie's just rolling around like nothing happened, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be like, I'm done with this.
That's where I want to go. But I think that once we establish, the two sides, I think Johnny and Daniel, they're gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna come
Squash the
together. We're gonna come together like Batman and Superman because Lex Luthor's over there, killing everybody. So
that I agree with. I think you're 100% right on that. I think that will happen because I feel like they've been like teasing that. Like it's almost, what this reminds me of? Every time there's a really good sitcom, you have the male and the female, and you have the will they or won't they? Are they gonna kiss? Sam and Diane, Ross and Rachel,
yeah,
Johnny and Daniel.
yeah,
Because they like, you see as the season's progressing, they get together like, oh, they're finally gonna be friends and squash the beef. Then nope, something bad happens, and like they give them this is gonna be a big break for them, right? And they're gonna have to slowly build their way back together to deal with John Kreese.
yeah. Plus, Johnny's way of fighting is always like attack first.
Yeah,
So attack,
strike
attack,
hard,
attack,
strike
yeah.
first.
And then Daniel was like, no,
No
man,
mercy.
defense. We're about defense. And so for them to beat Kreese, they need to combine attack and defense together as one, as a full like karate. And then
and then what's gonna happen is Miguel will be the side coach, and that other nerdy kid is gonna kick the shit out of Hawk.
Yeah, I want the little like Asian nerdy kid.
Well, that kid went ham. He was like,
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was like the funniest fight scene. The two,
It was
like,
so dumb. It was so
the
dumb.
nerdy Asian kid versus the nerdy white kid. I thought it was done because it showed them fighting.
Yeah.
It comes back to them again. It's like, oh shit.
Like, we haven't had enough of them, and then the one adult's just randomly running around, kind of helping his side out. I'm like,
Stingray.
Stingray. I'm Stingray.
I think one factor that helped me out is I play a lot of battle royale games, so I'm used to like I'm used to a lot of rumble.
Right.
So it's norm.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I dig it.
Season 1, solid 8 for me. Season 2, solid 4. Season 1 solid 8 for you. Season 2 solid 7. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't drop off for Ren. So yeah, there you go. Well, the audio nuts out there should let us know whose opinion they think is closer to what this show is. No, it's me. So also on Netflix, I have a review. I'm not sure if you actually watched the show or not, but we talked about it. There's a movie starring Millie Bobby Brown, 11 herself, called Enola Holmes. Did you ever see that movie?
No, my wife watched it without me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so I'm
and?
like, I didn't watch it.
Did she
She
like
watched,
it?
she said it was cute.
Yeah.
So since she already watched it, I'm just like, I'm good.
You're good.
No.
So I can recommend it. I mean, I liked it. I thought the acting was really good. I saw one reviewer didn't like the fact that Millie Bobby Brown looks and talks into the camera every once in a while she's running around and she talks to the audience as part of the gimmick of the show. But I thought it was cute. It was a little long for that kind of movie. It was over 2 hours, I think.
Damn.
And I thought this show, honestly, I think it would have worked better if they'd broken it up into a series and made it like a 8-part series or something. It'd probably been really enjoyable. But overall, I'd recommend it. Just know going in that the third act, when it should be ramping up, I felt was a little draggy. So Act 1, I thought was a great setup. I really enjoy all the actors. The actors were fantastic. I think this proved that Millie Bobby Brown can actually act and not just walk around being 11.
Right.
Of course, it had, Superman in it, Henry Cavill, and then it had what's her face, Helen Boham Carter, whatever her name is, I always liked her, and even the other actors who I didn't recognize name wise, I thought were all pretty good.
His brother?
Yeah, I thought his brother was a good actor.
What's his
I
name?
thought her love interest was a good actor. I thought even the kind of smaller side characters were all really decent actors.
I forget his brother's name, but he's a dude from Hunger
Enoch,
Games.
right? Was it Enoch?
Yeah, he played Finnick in the Hunger Games series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did a good job too. So and I've heard that the movie's been fairly successful for Netflix, and they may do a sequel. So if you want a cute little movie you can watch with your friends and fam, this would be it. Well, no, I think they could, even though this story finished, she's basically a baby Sherlock Holmes. So the sky's the limit to the kind of stories you could do.
Oh, do you know what would be a good meme if you that Spider-Man pointing meme?
Yeah.
You do that with Tony Stark.
Witcher? Oh.
Yeah, Tony Stark and The Witcher. Like, Sherlock Holmes. Because remember Robert Downey Jr. is trying to start his own like Sherlock Holmes universe.
Yeah, and I think I've never really watched those movies, but I heard they're not bad. They've made a few of them.
Yeah,
not as bad as Dr. Dolittle.
Oh yeah,
I've heard that movie's freaking terrible. So overall on Netflix also. So Netflix, we've mentioned like a million times, is at the very least they provide a lot of content. While not all of it's great, they give us a lot, and they're always signing deals. So Netflix has just sealed the deal on a new Conan movie. Yeah, Conan Properties International to move forward with a new Conan series. It has no official title or creative team attached just yet, aside from executive producers Frederick Malberg and Mark Wheeler. The Deadline story that I was reading notes that the deal will allow Netflix to option to develop works across TV and film, both live action and animated. So that sounds similar to what they've done with The Witcher. And wait, what was that one where they had the stacks in their head? Didn't they have a cartoon too?
Altered Carbon. Yeah,
Altered Carbon. So it seems like Netflix is doing something not the other streamers aren't doing, where they're taking these properties and they're doing both live action and animated.
And sometimes the animated one's actually better. Like Altered Carbon, animated movie was better than season 2.
Yeah, you said that. And yeah, I think that's awesome. That's why I'm stoked for the Witcher cartoon. I'm like, bring it out. Yeah. Let's go. But yeah, I was thinking I haven't seen the OG Conan. I almost said Conan O'Brien. Conan movie, Conan the Barbarian. Since I bet you I was like 6. I probably shouldn't have been watching it because all the violence. But I would love to see it again. I had to find out where it's streaming and see if it holds up, because I remember that was back before Arnold had really lost his real heavy accent. He was hard to understand.
I think I watched it during like my college years.
Yeah.
And I remember I still enjoyed it. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah, I was really mad because There's supposed to be a third one, but it never happened. I was like, God darn it! They should have made a third
Yeah, well,
one.
they had. Did you watch Red Sonja? That was like a Conan
Yeah,
Barbarian side movie. So,
and then who was the other one? The one that he also did too. That's similar to it. Is it Red Sonja?
like Conan the Destroyer or something.
Well, it was Conan the Barbarian, then Conan the Destroyer as
Yeah,
part 2,
right.
and then part 3 could have been Conan the Conqueror.
Oh, nice. And they've talked forever about bringing it back with him being like this older, like wise, gray bearded type Conan. And I'm curious
Yeah,
to see if they'll do anything like that, or if like we're just getting a brand spanking new buff bro rolling out as Conan.
I know. Who would you cast though?
I'd go some no name, maybe a wrestler. Usually the thing about the wrestlers is um, they have, even though they don't really act, they have that kind of experience of pretending, and so that's why I think The Rock was a hit, whereas some of the other ones have been less of hits.
Oh
John
yeah.
Cena.
Wait, The Rock was
No, he was he
Hercules,
Conan?
right? Or was he?
No, who was Conan was Aquaman.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Yeah. So I mean, they could bring him back. I never even saw that movie because it looks so shitty. I never.
Oh, it was bad. It's because like after Game of Thrones, he got very popular,
Right.
being Khal Drogo, and they cast him. He was huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So I mean, he looks the part, but that movie did not look good. Looked like the special effects were pretty lame.
Yeah, I don't know who they cast. I don't know who I would cast.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd have to be probably. I don't watch WWE, but I would imagine any one of those dudes could probably play the part.
If it's John Cena, I'm gonna quit that show already.
Well, at least John Cena we know is busy on HBO, so
Yeah.
doing his other show. So hopefully it won't be John Cena because that would be terrible. He'd be a terrible Conan.
Oh, speaking of Netflix, I finished that Sneakerhead show,
Yeah,
and I really like it. It's very
it's good.
enjoyable. Yeah.
It was a good show. I agree. I really liked it too. The only problem I had with it, and I think I gave it like a 7 or something when I originally reviewed it. But the only issue I had with it is it needs to figure out its tone because it's kind of a funny show, and then all of a sudden it has these like crazy, like hysterical type moments, and so I don't like those as much when they get like kind of real wackadoo.
Right.
Like when Jason Statham rescues them from a Chinese prison.
Yeah. It's so out there.
So out of nowhere.
And Mark Wahlberg wasn't even Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, when they had Mark Wahlberg, who was played by Mark Wahlberg, but not the Mark Wahlberg you're thinking, but he was playing the Mark Wahlberg that you're supposed to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Wrap your mind around that.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you give it the whole season score wise?
Like 8 for me. I enjoyed it.
Oh, nice.
Had a bunch
Very
of
good.
like one-liners that cracked me up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the dude, like I told you, is the new Chris Tucker, huh?
Yeah, dude, he's freaking funny, man.
So
Well,
good.
The thing is, he's like that in every show that he's in.
That's
But then
probably
this,
just who he is.
yeah, but this one it like expanded on him. Like he talks a lot.
Yeah.
He's always like talking to the camera and like always persuading him to do things.
Yeah, I mean, he's the instigator.
Yeah.
And he makes the whole plot, like he's the most critical character. So even though he's not the main character, he's the most critical character because he sits there and he convinces this guy to continually do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And that moves the plot forward and
Yeah.
keeps the story going.
And surprisingly, everybody in that show was very good at acting.
Yeah, no, all good actors.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. So I gave us all
Yeah.
8.
So yeah, everybody watch Sneakerheads. It's good. We liked it. I saw there's a new thing coming out on. I think it's a movie coming out on Netflix. Actually, it's out now. It's already out. Called Vampires versus the Bronx.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I watched the trailer for this, and I think part of it is it's really an allegory for like gentrification, and the vampires represent the people gentrifying the neighborhoods, like that's happening to these urban neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what the show is about, even though they're vampires.
It's kind of like that Will Smith one. What's it called again? The one movie?
Oh, Bright?
Bright, yeah. Right?
Are you talking about Bright or the other Will Smith movie?
Bright. Where like the elves were like the high class.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah, that's Bright.
yeah. And like the goblins were like the low class.
Yeah,
Certainly.
totally. Yeah, so I don't know that I'm ever gonna watch Vampires versus the Bronx. I like the title though. So anybody out there looking for a Halloween movie? I mean, there it is. That's on Netflix, ready to go.
Is it Adam Sandler movie out yet?
I I think it's this weekend. I think Adam Hubie Halloween, I
Yeah.
believe, comes out this weekend. So yeah, everybody should jump on that. I'm definitely gonna watch it because I'm really hoping that it's a Waterboy style movie and funny,
Yeah.
not stupid as hell.
You know, at our real workplace,
Yeah.
the newsletter thingy, I suggested that they have a category of suggested Halloween movies. You know,
Oh,
because
genius.
of Hubie in that movie.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure if they did or not.
I think that'd be a good idea. I
That's
think
a
that's
great idea.
yeah, I think it's a great idea. Speaking of kind of like scary stuff, Netflix is also developing Neil Gaiman's Sandman comic book into a series. I don't know if you've ever read that. So Sandman was part of the DC spin-off. They're like their indie style comics, and it deals with like I think he's called the Dream something. It's like a dream guy versus like a awake guy character. It's like supposed to be really trippy.
Oh, Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
Well, Neil Gaiman is like my wife's favorite author. So
Oh, she's gonna be excited then.
yeah,
So you have to
anything
tell
Neil
her.
Gaiman on it, she's gonna watch it or read it.
Yeah, I bet you it's good. He's a
Yeah.
really good writer.
Yeah.
So I'm betting that one's gonna be really good. I'm pretty excited about it myself. And then the last thing I had for Netflix, and actually I thought it came out this Halloween, but I guess it doesn't come out until next Halloween. So you have to wait to 2021 Spooktober to see it. Is Oktoberfest Beer and Blood.
The heck is
so,
that?
so I read about this, and the concept is crazy. It's written by the guy that made Dark, and you know the movie the movie or excuse me the TV show Dark on Netflix. That's like a German import.
Yeah.
This is also a German import, so you'll have to. I think that's why it's not coming out till next year because it just debuted in Germany, and I think they need to do all the dubs. So the only way you'd be able to watch it right now is subbed. But it looks so good. It like the even because I watched the trailer in German with the subtitles. And the concept is this guy decides to go against the breweries who are like controlling this whole town and do his own Oktoberfest with his own beer and everything. And everybody's super into it, but the breweries are trying to sabotage him. But something's happening where he's like putting like blood in the beer and everybody's getting addicted to it. And the blood's like turning people into like monsters or something. But it's not a joke at all. It's like very like serious, like cool and hip. And it's got like this hip soundtrack. And it looks really good.
Nice. Did you ever finish Dark?
No, I watched season
Yeah.
1, and there was just enough time between 1 and season 2 that I was concerned I'd have to rewatch season 1 to understand what was going on.
Yeah. So like what I've seen, Dark was pretty good. So the way you explained that new one sounds pretty cool too.
Yeah, it looks cool. So I would recommend if you jump on like the YouTubes or something, you could probably watch the trailer. It is in German, but they have subtitles, and I just like the vibe that it gave off. It looks like it's really well filmed. The cinematography is good. The acting is hard to tell because they're all speaking German, but the acting seemed good.
You just
Looks
gotta
intense.
get over that 1 inch barrier, man.
Yeah, if you can get past the subtitles, but I'm assuming the reason it's taking all years because they're dubbing it. I don't know why. Otherwise, they just release it.
Yeah, for me, when I was watching Dark, for example,
Yeah.
if you watch it dub, don't use subtitles. You know, sometimes you watch English shows, you put in subtitles so you can like
Oh, right.
understand
Yeah.
better. You know, I know
Yeah.
people
So
do
you
that.
mhm.
I do that sometimes too. But last time when I was watching Dark, the dub was different from the sub.
What? That's
Yeah, so
weird.
what they will say is different from what they was writing on the screen. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, it'll be the same. It'll be the same, but then different wording.
Yeah, almost like the sub was a literal translation, and then they let the voice actor give the gist of what they were saying, so
Yeah.
it made more sense, maybe.
It's like, how
In
are you?
English.
I'm well, but it writes, I'm good. You know, stuff like that.
Weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and enough
weirded
to
me out.
where it throws you off. Like, gosh, damn it, dude.
Yeah, because your brain's trying to read it, and you're hearing something different.
Yeah.
So you gotta go either or, not both. Over on Amazon Prime, I want to give my review on Utopia because I told everybody last time how I've been watching it, how I liked it. This show is fantastic. I really, really like it.
Wait, did you tell? Was that off air?
I thought that I mentioned that I'd started it.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
I think I
no.
did. If I didn't, sometimes it's hard to, because here's the thing about it. We talk about all this stuff on air, off air all the time.
Yeah.
But Utopia, if you didn't miss last episode, or if I just dreamt that I said it on air, Utopia is a show on Amazon Prime, and it runs for about 8 episodes. They're hour-long episodes. You get 8 hours of it. And the basic concept is there's this comic book called Utopia that gives all these like secrets about what's really happening in society, and it knows things ahead of time. And so this group of like comic book dorks become sleuths trying to figure out what the comic book means and solve this almost like puzzle. It's like conspiracy theory. And all these weird things start happening, and it is awesome. I liked it so much. My only thing because I went and looked at the reviews, and there were no audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, only like critic reviews, and they were like not great. It was only like 60%, like 58% positive. And I thought, what the hell? I go, how can they? What am I missing that these people don't like? And you know what it is the show, from almost every critic that didn't like it, was saying that the show's too timely. Because
Oh,
say you're at home and you're wanting to get away from the real world, and you just want to be, you don't want to think about COVID, you don't want to think about all this crap that's happening in our real world. I agree, Utopia won't be the show to give you any relief. Because it's very intense. It's funny though, it has real dark humor, but the main center around it is about a pandemic. And it's very similar to what's happening. And the weird thing, listen to this, Ren, because I think we did talk about this on air and you wondered if it happened before. Yes, the script for this was written before this pandemic, and the show was a Euro import. So they'd filmed it with a
what?
different cast in Europe with this exact same plot. And
Oh, okay.
so there's so many things in the show. It makes it even creepier because there's so many things in this show that are happening today with our pandemic that are relatable to this show's pandemic. And the show's pandemic is planned and provided by real humans. They made this happen, which makes you question everything.
You said that the show ended, so is our pandemic gonna end? I gotta
Well, the
watch the
show
show to find
ended.
out.
The show ended, but there's going to be season 2. I was concerned that there wouldn't be a season 2 because of the low reviews, but I just read today that they are in fact making season 2, which
You
is
know why?
awesome.
You know why there's low reviews? Because they didn't even advertise it, dude. Like, I didn't even know what it was. Like, where the hell did I see any ads for it? Or
I know, and I don't know why, because it has a really generic kind of dumb name like Utopia, like
yeah.
but it's so good. I highly recommend it. I give it nine nuts. It's my favorite show on Amazon Prime, excluding The Boys, which is clearly the best.
Yeah, well, everything it's without the boys. The boys is like on its own.
Yeah. So there's this character on there that's, I won't tell you if he's the good guy or the bad guy, but he has this phrase that he always says to everybody. And he has this, I think they try to make you think he's the bad guy by making him kind of creepy. And he always says, "What have you done to earn your place in the crowded world?" And he says that to everybody. And so he has this like all these people that work for him. And he's always like, "What have you done to earn your place in this crowded world?" And they'll like, he sits around the table with his kids and he asks them, and they make them all say like, "Today I did this and it helped this crowded world. Today I did this and it helped this crowded world." And that phrase is really important to remember as you're watching the show, of how this guy's mentality is, just by the fact that he wants to know, what have you done to earn your place in this crowded world?
It sounds like he's making a checklist. Are you
Yeah,
worthy of staying? Nope. Get
absolutely
out of
right.
here. Yeah.
So it's good. I really recommend it. So if anybody's was like, I don't know what that is, or if you're worried about being like too pandemic-y, it's so fun. There's so many twists and turns, and it takes so many misdirections you're not expecting, things I haven't seen in shows like this before. It feels almost like a comic booky type show, but there's, even though it's based on a comic book, it's not fantasy, it's conspiracy, right? So these are all real people having real things happen to them.
The Amazon should let you buy the comic book too.
Oh man, if you could buy that comic book, I would buy a copy of it because it's pretty neat, especially if it had all the clues in it. Because they study it with like magnifying glasses and rip it apart and assemble it in different ways to find all these clues that have been drawn into it. Because it's basically like a roadmap to them solving this mystery.
Nice. They should. That's a missed opportunity right there, Amazon.
Yeah. So maybe they will. I don't know. They're originally a book company, so it would make sense that they could sell, a comic book. But yeah, I dig it. But it's still not as good as The Boys. And speaking of The Boys, there's only one episode left. By the time we come on next, we'll be able to talk about the season finale.
Yeah.
But I've been really enjoying the season. It's been a little, for me, a little slower. Like if I was going to rate season 1 to season 2, I like season 1 better still. But I've enjoyed, I really like Stormfront. I think is a cool new character. And I like where the plot's going. And then this last episode had such a crazy ending that I'm pumped for the season finale. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it gave me red wedding vibes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude.
So if anybody watches Game of Thrones, when they hear the red wedding, they're like, "Holy crap! I got to watch this episode now."
Yeah, it gave me that type of vibe. Like, holy shit.
Well, the fact about it is, without giving anything away, something happens that both sides seem surprised about. Like nobody knows why it's happening, and that's fun.
Yeah, because throughout the show, we know, the boys, which is like the human side,
Right?
And then we have the superheroes. We're kind of going along. All we're gonna go along that line where there's side A and side B, and all of a sudden they introduce like side C, which nobody knows who it is. Like, who is that? So it's like,
yeah, because you're like, they build you up to think this is the new baddie. Stormfront's gonna be made the new big baddie, and then all of a sudden something else happens. You're like, wait, did she do that? I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, for me, that show has so many questions. Like that I want to answer. Like, what the hell is Stormfront's powers? Like, what can she do?
And we learned spoiler alert, she's the original soup. Like she's the very first one they've ever made.
Yeah. And so does she have like healing power? Is that why she never age? Or she got a beam in the boobs? Nothing happened?
Yeah. Is she invincible? I mean, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, The Boys is great. I can't wait for the season finale.
And since when did Starlight was like super strong? Like she couldn't it's like superhuman strength.
They just never showed us that. So I mean, maybe they assume that we don't have to worry about us thinking that it can't happen.
Because like, is it part of the 7th where they're invulnerable or something? Or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe all of them are invulnerable. That's a hard word. I can't say it. I'm not even try.
No, I try to say it really fast so you get out.
Invulnerable.
Like Black Noir, who never dies. What does he? What does he do? He has Wolverine or something,
The way that they took down Black Noir was hilarious. I was cracking. I'm like, oh my god, it's so genius.
They foreshadowed it too, man.
They did? Tell me how.
Remember when he was trying to find Butch, and then he was sitting next to like the Indian girl on the computer, and she was eating it, and he like threw it away.
That's right. I did not remember that. That's good. Yeah, good eyes.
I only remember because I hate that candy bar.
Me too. And it's not my favorite.
Gross. It's like fake coconut in there. Gross. Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. So also though on Amazon Prime, I saw a trailer for a brand new movie based on a movie we all know and love from back in the day. Did you see they're making a sequel to Borat?
No way. I saw like a lot of like marketing, him wearing like the mask on his junk.
Yep. So they're making a Borat movie, and it's called The Borat Subsequent Movie Film: Delivery of the Prodigious Bribe to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. That's the real title of the whole movie. And that thing debuts on October 23rd. I mean, I'm curious to see if it's going to be as funny, because part of what made Borat funny the first time is because nobody knew that he was playing Borat. And so those who haven't seen the Borat movie, basically the concept is it's a scripted film, but they roll in and they harass real people that don't know that this guy is pretending to be this character. They think it's real. Yeah. And so he kind of tricks people along the way. And I think that they still somehow pull that off to some degree in this movie.
Yeah, I saw a clip. I'm not sure it's real, but he he did it to Mike Pence.
Yes. Yeah, it's in the trailer where he rolls in and goes, Mike a penis, I have your girlfriend. It's so funny. So I'll probably watch it just because, why not? It looks silly to me.
Oh, it's funny. A person that I know, They just found out that you could watch Amazon Video because you have Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, of course.
I told him about The Boys, and he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I don't have Amazon Video. And turns out he finally found out that his wife has Amazon Prime, and he thought that video was another add-on to Prime. I was like, whoa.
Oh, nice. Well, it's
So-
a bonus for him.
Yeah, so people out there, if you want to watch Amazon Video, it's included with your Prime.
Yeah, if
Just so
yeah,
you know.
no, we're not paying for this. I don't even count it as part of my streaming because I would pay for Amazon Prime just for the free shipping.
Right.
I mean, it's $100, right? So I'd
Yeah.
pay for it anyways. And so the fact that you get all this television and movies too, it's like, yeah, if you're not taking advantage of that, you're missing out.
Yeah, I think if you didn't know, you would think like he did, where it's like an extra fee, but it's
Yeah,
not.
in fact, Amazon, like today's Thursday, we're recording it on Thursday. Amazon is playing the Thursday night NFL game, so they're doing that again. So, say you don't have anything else and you just want to at least catch one game a week, Amazon's putting on the Thursday game, so you can watch it there.
Nice.
Over on Disney Plus, they haven't really been doing much with new shows because they really got hit hard, I think, by COVID. But they have been releasing lots of new noise, and so they've been talking about doing Ms. Marvel, and they finally cast the actress. Remember, we had a whole thing where we were trying to like pick actresses. Well, that was all for naught because they picked a brand new young lady, complete no name. No one's ever heard of her. I tried to look her up. She hasn't done squat really. I mean, some real minor stuff. The biggest news on her was that she had wrote somewhere in a bio that she wanted to grow up to be Tony Stark. So she's at least a Marvel fan. She looks the part though. Her name is Iman Vellani, and she's of Markham, Ontario. She's a Canadian. Who doesn't love Canadians? We love Canadians on Audionots.
You know it's going to be good then.
Right. So yeah, she's joined the MCU as Kamala Khan. I don't know, as Miss Marvel. So something to look forward to. They finally cast the part, and I'm down. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that too. And we always promote that they should cast people that we don't know, and that way we could grow with them as their character.
Yeah, they fully encompass the role. I think that makes a difference. So they announced that. So they announced the Marvel news, and then they had some Star Wars news because it seems like all Disney does right now is announce things that may happen eventually.
Yeah, just hype people up.
Yeah, they're a hype machine. There's no better hype machine than Disney.
Hype beast.
So they Disney announced that guess what? They're not going to be done with Alden Ehrenreich's young Han Solo after all. You're like, oh, just the one movie, that's it? Because he didn't get good reviews. Turns out it's being reported that the studio wants Alden to appear in multiple Star Wars Disney Plus series. So we'd already heard and we've talked about in the past that there was going to be a Lando Calrissian series. I would imagine he'll show up on that because they were trying to get Donald Glover to star in that. It's like a limited series. But it doesn't sound like they want to give him his own show, but they want him to be in all the other ones. So they'll drag him through all the other shows. So, I mean, would you lose your mind if he showed up in The Mandalorian unannounced?
I can't see it because it's like older him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. Because he would have to be older. Because we show up in the Obi-Wan one with young Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Maybe they cross paths and never realized it.
Yeah, I can see that. But other than that, I don't really see him like elsewhere.
So, well, didn't they? So we got the Lando. He could show up in Lando. He could show up in Obi-Wan. And then was there? I think there was another one. Wasn't there a Cassian Andor one coming out?
Oh yeah.
So maybe he could be in that. So I don't know.
Or like a lot of flashbacks. Like
that's
Force
true.
vision.
Like flashbacks.
There you go. He was just contracted and they needed to like fill some spots. How about this one?
Yeah. And they're like, we got to use them up so we don't have to make another one of these movies.
I thought Solo was good. Like
I did too. And I wanted to see what was going to happen with Darth Maul.
Yeah. Man, I swear, Rian Johnson ruined The Last Jedi and Solo.
Yep. Agreed. He's the worst. Over on YouTube TV, I call it YouTube TV and really it's just TV. If you have Comedy Central, they just put out South Park Pandemic Special. And I just finished this bad boy. I hadn't watched South Park in forever because it's been on since the dawn of time. I think it was like 8 when it came out. It's like been on in like 100,000 years.
Still going.
and still going strong apparently. And I said, I gotta watch this. That'll be fun. And it is so funny. So even if you're not a South Park fan, I highly recommend everybody go find the South Park Pandemic special and watch it because I needed that laugh. I laughed from start to finish, and they do such a good job of making fun of pretty much everything we're going through without us feeling bad about it.
Is it too timely?
No, because it's so silly. I mean, it's just in timely.
Right.
But yeah, so I enjoyed it. On our tasty trailers, I got a handful of tasty trailers. The first one being for a new movie coming out exclusively. It was originally supposed to be a theater movie, and COVID. So now it's coming out on October 22nd. It's called The Witches. And The Witches looks like a kid's movie. So this is probably for the 12 and under group, and then the parents of the 12 and unders. But I guess it's based on a writer named Dahl, who also wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, James and the Giant Peach. I mean, so that makes me a little excited because even though those are all kids' movies, I enjoyed all of those personally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So yeah, he it says here that Dahl went on to write some of the best loved children's stories of the 20th century, such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, James and the Giant Peach, Witches, and the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, and the BFG as well. So this bro has written everything that's been a pretty decent movie. So The Witches was supposed to be a big time movie theater movie, and it's coming straight to the
VOD?
HBO Max.
Oh,
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, Max.
Oh, nice.
So HBO Max is giving it to you. So if you have the Max, you don't have to buy it. And it looks okay. I'll probably watch it with my kid.
It's the one with Anne Hathaway, right?
Yes, Anne Hathaway, correct.
Yeah.
She's one of the witches. She looks very much like what's the mean dog lady? Cruella DeVille.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she's looking very Cruella DeVille. So a day later, another movie premieres on Hulu. Hulu. So for all our horror friends, because we've talked about how Hulu likes to give us all our Spooktober viewing options, they have what looks to be the dumbest yet hilarious,
Ooh.
scary, I'm going to do it in air quotes even though you can't see it, scary movie called Bad Hair. And I forgot I was supposed to send you all these trailers ahead of time. I got busy and never did. But you get to hear the synopsis all on your own. So Bad Hair looks like a Medea's like scary movie type movie. So this woman, I think it's set in the 80s or the 90s, and she gets a job, a young African American lady, and they don't like her hair. They're like, everybody's giving her a hard time about her hair. So they recommend that she goes and gets a weave, and she's never had a weave before. And so she goes to this place, and this lady, like, I don't know if she's like voodoo or what the hell's going on, but she like weaves in like some dead person's hair into her hair, and it looks fantastic. Everybody's like, oh, we love your new haircut. But what she doesn't realize is that she doesn't control the hair. And it's, I think the line's something like, does she control the hair or does the hair control her? And I swear to you, no lie, dead ass, the hair comes flying off her head and grabs people and starts ripping them apart.
Out of her head?
So it stays on her head. And it appears to me as the trailer progresses that the hair starts to make her actually evil, or maybe she's just sick of people and decides to go evil. Because at the very last scene of the trailer, she's like getting in an elevator, and these two women are like talking trash to her, and her hair comes flying out like, I don't know, ropes, grabs them and rips them into the elevator, and then It's like bad hair.
It's like animated.
It's so stupid. So
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The acting looks terrible. Everything about it looks kind of stupid, but because it's such a dorky concept, I might actually have to give it a shot.
It's like if like her hair was venom.
Oh yeah, totally.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it's very similar to that.
Yeah. Bad hair. Bad hair.
Bad hair. So I saw another one. It's not really a trailer as much as it is a teaser. So it doesn't even matter that you didn't see it because the teaser is all of like 10 or 15 seconds. But they put out a teaser for Monster Hunter with Mila Jovovich.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and that comes out in December, and it's her basically running around with a huge ass sword and this like trimmers monster coming out of the ground. It looked, honestly, it kind of looked like something from Pacific Rim. It looked like a Pacific Rim type monster to me.
Wait, so do you know anything about Monster Hunter?
No, I know it's based on a video game,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you tell me. So my understanding is she lives in some sort of normal world, but somehow gets transported to this weird monster world or something.
Well, in the game, it's we're all in that world. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if like the very beginning's like that, but in the game, you're just immersed in that world.
So you've played this game.
Yeah, I have it.
Is it good?
It's pretty good, but a lot of farming because basically you have to like team up with your friends to go fight this big ass monster,
Yeah.
and then once you beat it, it gives you loot, and you can use that loot to like create armor or stuff like that. So if you know that Diablo looking fool in that one, if you want like
Yeah.
his armor set, then you have to go kill him like multiple times just to like make breastplate,
Oh,
arms, and
okay.
stuff like
Yeah. Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Interesting. So yeah, I mean they're making a movie out of it. I don't know how good an actress Mila is, but she's always in those kind of movies. She's like,
Resident Evil, man.
yeah, she must have got like typecast into video game movies or something.
Well, the premise of that whole game is just uh you go hunt monsters.
Yeah. It's curious to see how they'll get enough plot out of that. But then we need to remember they made an entire movie out of Battleship, which is
Yeah,
a board game where you go, oh, you sunk my battleship.
we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. So my next trailer is looks okay, but I'm kind of irritated because I had this concept, and you can vouch for me that I came up with this idea before this movie. So this was a movie that is the fully 3D animated, computer generated type movie, and it stars Nathan Fillion, Rosario Dawson, James Marsden, Thomas Middleditch, Craig Robinson, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Rob Riggle. More, I mean, all sorts of great comedians is the names or the voices, and it's called Henchmen, and it's about
Oh,
it's about a guy that decides all his heroes, I'm going to become a henchman, and he goes to henchman school to learn how to be a henchman. This was my idea. Someone stole my idea.
yeah, it's true. I remember that.
Yeah, so I came up with this idea a while ago. So anyway, somebody stole my idea and they owe me money, but they've made this henchman movie, and it's a little bit different than my concept. My concept was a little bit different. But in this version, a young man becomes a henchman because he wants to fight against the superheroes. And in the end, though, he realizes he's more of a goody two shoes than he thinks. And another supervillain decides to come to this area where all the henchmen are training. It's like henchman school, and he's gonna kill everybody, all the henchmen, and then he's gonna kill all the soup. So he's the only one, so he doesn't have to worry about someone else, a new bad guy taking his spot.
Right.
So this is a bad guy attacking other bad guys, and somehow this henchman character ends up being a superhero, and so he ends up fighting it off, and it looks cute. It's a cute anime movie. It's kind of like, I'd say the animation style is similar to like Big Hero 6 is kind of what it looked
Oh.
like. But I'm like, how is it we've never heard of this movie and it's available right now on VOD? I'm like, I've never even heard of it.
VOD.
Yeah, VOD. You know me. It was made in Canada. It's a Canadian movie.
Oh, then you know it's good.
Yeah, so it was made for Canadian television. But now, if you want to watch it, it's only $6.99. It's one of the cheaper VODs out there.
Oh.
So if you're ever bored with the kids at home one day, people can just jump on there and watch that movie.
I remember for the records, that way there's proof. Your idea of the henchman
Yeah.
was like a happy accident, the routes, and he just kind of like stumbles his way to the top
Yeah, my
on
concept.
accident.
Yeah, my concept was he becomes a henchman, and all the henchmen always get killed, and then he somehow manages to never die. So he just keeps going on
Yeah.
because like the villain that he would serve would get caught, killed, or caught, and he just go on to the next one. And everybody else keep dying, but somehow he would always make it out. So yeah, it's a little bit different concept, but that was totally the name that I was gonna give the movie. So
Yeah.
I had to come up with a new name.
You even like thought of like actors to play.
Yeah,
Right?
I was gonna, because I wanted to do Chris Pratt and Ryan Reynolds being against each other. Like they both started off as henchmen, and the Chris Pratt character just stumbled his way through becoming the most successful henchman ever, whereas Ryan Reynolds quit and became a good guy, and they ended up battling at the end, even though they were buddies at one point. Because I thought it'd be so funny.
Man, your two man crush going at it.
Oh, that's probably why I did that. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes,
Let's go.
bros forever. So there you go. Those are all my tasty trailers for the episode. We're going to take a quick break. On the flip side of the break, we're going to jump into the news jacuzzi. I got some Avatar news. I got some Peter Pan news, more Amazon news. I got some crazy news. I got to ask you if you would eat cake when you go to Subway. All right, would you be excited about that? I don't know. And I got some Spider-Man news, and then I got some local news to end the cast with some crazy magic mushroom fun. So we'll see y'all on the flippity flip. Need affordable graphic design? Visualantedesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit Visualantedesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. Welcome back, everybody. Let's dip our toes in the news jacuzzi. All right, so my first story is about Avatar. They've been talking about these Avatar movies for about 1,000 years since they made the first one. Anyway, they made theme parks and everything. Well,
The Last Airbender?
Not that Avatar. The little blue Nojis or whatever they're called Avatar. The James Cameron Avatar that's owned by Disney now. So yeah, they've actually finished filming Avatar 2 and they're 95% done with Avatar 3.
Movies?
Yes, movies. So James Cameron came out and said he wants to make like 6 of these things. And he thinks they're going to be $1 bajillion each. And I'm not so sure because I don't know how he does it. There's something about James Cameron where people will go spend all their money because he has literally James Cameron has made the 2 highest profitable movies of all time. One guy.
Titanic and what?
Titanic and Avatar.
Avatar?
Number 1 and number 2.
Here's my hot take, dude. I thought Avatar was very, very mediocre.
You know why? Because it's a ripoff.
A Pocahontas, right?
No. Avatar is a ripoff of, what is that movie?
Ferngully.
Ferngully. Avatar is a word for word ripoff of Ferngully. That's all it is.
Yeah, because when I watched it, I was like, man, this is Pocahontas, dude.
Everybody was so excited about it because of the special effects, but I feel like the special effects now are so much better that nothing Avatar did seems that special. And, everybody's like, it was real gimmicky to go see it in like an IMAX movie and do all those things. And I am really curious to see if these are going to hold people's attention now. Like the times are different, but I could be wrong. Every time this guy makes a movie, it makes $1 gajillion.
Yeah. I think he's really good at taking advantage of the time that he's in, Yeah. At that time, IMAX, what is this? You make this cool 3D movie. Oh, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing I've ever seen before. Titanic, big ass ship, PG-13 boobs. Let's go.
There you go. So if you dig that Avatar, which I thought was a very mediocre, really long movie, part 2 is done and 3 is almost done. So something to look forward to for those Avatar fanboys. The next story has to do with Peter Pan and Wendy. So of course, there's never enough Peter Pan movies. They seem to make a Peter Pan movie like every single year. This one, Peter Pan is a brand new movie starring Jude Law as Captain Hook and Yara Shahida as Tinkerbell. So the internet and the Twitters, of course, went all badass over it because they're upset that they cast Yara as Tinkerbell because Yara is a young, beautiful African-American woman. And the fans out there will know her from Blackish. She was the oldest daughter on Blackish. She went on to be the star of Grownish. I think she's a great actress, and I think that honestly, she'll be a great Tinkerbell. I don't know why everybody's so worried about it.
Tinkerbell needs to be white, like Julia Roberts.
Everybody's like, yeah, it's got to look like the character. I'm like, it's a cartoon. It's a little fairy that flies around. If she's a little tiny with wings and a green dress, she'll use Tinkerbell. That's all it takes.
For me, I just want people or producers, whatever, to hire good actors and actresses, and just play the part well. Who cares about race or sex or whatever?
Yeah.
I
think she's a great actor. I think Jude Law is a good actor. That Grownish show, though, is killing it. So I don't know if anybody watches this show. My family and I watch it. It's on the Disney Freeform channel, which is kind of weird. But on Freeform, they play Grownish, which is a a spinoff of Blackish, and it's her going to college. But so she ends up becoming Tinkerbell in this big Disney movie, and her co-star Halle Bailey becomes the Little Mermaid. She's the new Little Mermaid.
Oh,
So
dang.
yeah, it's kind of interesting to think that this silly little cable show is turning out what's going to be probably mega movies with two of their stars.
Well, they're mad at that too.
Yeah.
Ariel should be white.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
how dare you put black people in movies with characters I know and love?
Yeah, just
People are dicks. What can you do? So my next story though has to do with Amazon. We talked about Amazon last week a little bit with their announcements of the Ring type stuff. So their new announcement is Amazon themselves is going to get into palm reading. You're like, ooh, does that mean they're going to tell me my future? No. So Amazon has actually making it so you can pay for things with your palm. Turns out that your palm has more unique identity than a thumbprint or an eye print. And so all the Amazon stores, I don't know if you guys out there listening have them around you. We have one in our big mall. It's like, I think it's called Amazon Books is what they call it, even though they sell all sorts of stuff inside of it. It's in the middle of the mall, and they sell basically all their Amazon electronics. They sell, rings. They sell all sorts of random crap. But they're going to retrofit all the Amazons that you go in one time, you sign up, and they scan your palm, and your palm becomes your identity at Amazon. You can roll in there, take wherever the hell you want, scan, and just scan your hand, and it counts as your payment. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So I'm sure the conspiracy theorists will be like, I'm not sharing my palm. But they said what's good about it is, unlike a face thing, they don't see you because you can hold up any two palms and you can't tell who the hell it is. But the imprint on it's enough that you can distinguish your bank account or your PayPal, wherever you have associated to it.
they should like call up Disney. Hey, Disney, you want to partner up? We're gonna use the Force to pay.
Oh yeah, I know you're like, man. Because Amazon's been messing around with this kind of stuff for a bit. In Seattle, they had that grocery store that they put together. It was like a Whole Foods mini, and you could just walk in and walk out with stuff, and it would, if you had your phone on you or something, it would know and just automatically charge you. So they've been they're trying to figure out how to make it even easier. And I think that in today's day and age where people are really weird about touching things, we're all kind of, hand sanitizing all the time and nobody wants to touch anything. The fact that you can just like wave your hand over something and pay for it is pretty cool.
You'd be like, these are the books I've been looking for. Done.
I feel bad for those poor Amazon employees that are going to get all those dumb jokes. So that could almost be a future is now type category thing. And I think it takes place next year. I think they're starting it up next year. So don't be shocked when you go visit your local Amazon store in the mall and they just use your palm to pay.
What if you're shy with your like small hands? I don't want to use it.
Like Trump rolls in there and he's like, no, too small of hands. So anyways, my next story, let me ask you this, Mr. Wren. Would you be excited if Subway started serving cake? No, sounds gross, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You've already been eating cake.
What?
Yes. Can you believe it? So turns out, this is going to blow everybody's mind because when I heard this story, I thought to myself, I'm never having Subway again.
Secret ingredient?
All 6 of the company's bread options, Italian, white bread, Italian herbs and cheese, the 9-grain wheat. Remember the 9-grain wheat? That's got to be healthy for you, right?
Yeah,
it says 9 grains. It says wheat. The hearty Italian, the multi-seed, honey oat, all that crap has been deemed too sugary by the court to qualify as bread.
What?
It's essentially cake. So Subway, the reason they're able to make their bread taste so damn good is because it has such an extreme sugar content in it that it's not even considered bread legally.
How the hell did Jared lose all that weight then?
That's what I was wondering. As a keto Guido over here who doesn't eat sugar or carbs, that's like a non-starter for me. And so, yeah, you got to wonder how Jared lost any weight if all he was eating was sugary bread the whole time.
Man, secret ingredient, man.
Yeah, so everybody, and that's the thing I've learned when I got keto is they add sugar to a lot of things. Like for those who are trying keto and they look at Starbucks. Starbucks serves egg bites, and egg bites are a perfect keto breakfast, except for if you get them at Starbucks because they put sugar in their egg bites. Zero reason for it. All I can assume is A, it must be preserving it to some degree, and B, it's making it addictive. Whether we want to admit it or not, we're all addicted a little bit to sugar.
Yeah, dude. Sugar's a
So,
crack, man. Keeps you coming
yeah,
back.
everybody keep that in mind next time you go to Subway, that not only are you getting yourself a boatload of carbs, you're getting a bunch of sugar that you had no idea about.
A bunch of people should get together and every time you go to Subway, just sing happy birthday.
Be like, what kind of bread would you like, sir? I'd like the wedding cake bread. Sir, we don't have wedding cake. I'll have the Italian herbs and cheesecake.
All the cakes.
Just keep saying cake until the poor, like 16-year-old minimum wage employee loses their mind.
Is
What are
this
you
like
talking about, man?
is this like national news that everybody knows? Is this like
It was real news. So it wasn't in the. Okay, let me clarify a little bit. When I say that it was deemed by the court to be too sugary, it wasn't deemed by the American courts, because American courts are full of fat people. It was deemed by the European courts. So Europe has said, "Hey, man, Subway, you can serve this bread, but you need to make sure you tell everybody that it's not bread. You can't call it bread." And so,
right?
if you were to visit a Subway overseas, they can't call it bread.
I've been eating bread my whole life. I mean, cake my whole life.
Yeah, so there you go. My next news story has to do with something real exciting about that. I think we've kind of sorted this out in previous podcasts, but it seems even more so than ever that Spider-Man 3 is absolutely a multiverse.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah, because
is.
we've been talking about it. We talked about it. Remember, we found that one thing on Letterboxd where they basically told us, it goes to show whoever made that was on it. They knew. So it's been announced that Jamie Foxx is in fact going to reprise his role as Electro in Spider-Man 3. And not only that, Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man 3, which also, by the way, was in that letterbox. That letterbox knew somehow. So if you remember from our much way ago story, we said that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were going to be in this next Spider-Man movie too. So I think they're going full multiverse on us.
Yeah, because they're saying that WandaVision's gonna start it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then it's gonna include Doctor Strange, and now that Doctor Strange is connected to freaking Spider-Man, let's go.
It's so good. And I think that Spider-Man's kind of going to take on that mentor role with little Peter Parker there, because that was Tony Stark's part. And now that he's gone, you get to have a Doctor Strange role and kind of help mentor him and maybe explain what the hell's going on, because I think we didn't realize it at the time, but I think they were teasing us about this whole Spider-Verse thing. Maybe Mysterio helps have something happen, because the fact that we got the same Jonah Jameson that was in the
Tobey
other
Maguire
Spider-Man-
one.
Yeah, this other Spider-Man movie, and then we see him again. We're like, okay, hold on, we've gone full circle. What's happening?
It's all
here?
connected.
Yeah, so I think that's something to be super excited about, because the thing about the multiverse, if they bring that into the Marvel stuff, is that gives them so many possibilities. You want to introduce X-Men and keep some of the actors but have new ones? Why not? You sure can. One of them came from this universe, the other one came up from a different one. You wanted the Fantastic Four? Go for it. It makes it so easy for them to introduce all these characters.
Yeah, because we know it's multiverse because Doctor Strange movie is called Multiverse of Madness. So
Yes,
it's a
in the
multiverse.
title.
Yeah.
So I think that there needs to be little to any more like I think it might be. I think we know. So yeah, the multiverse is coming, and I think it's going to really define Phase 4, because we thought, wow, how are they going to get better than what they did in the last 3 phases? And I think this is it. This is going to be awesome.
I want to see Captain America pointing to Human Torch. Spider-Man meme.
That'd be so funny. Someone should make that. Someone can go out there and make that right now.
What if like you're saying that Doctor Strange is training Peter as his mentor?
Yeah.
What if Peter becomes the leader of the Young Avengers because
That would
he's
be
still
dope.
young too?
Yeah,
Right?
no, that would be dope. So I don't know if that could happen because of the whole Sony Marvel deal, because they're 2 different companies that own those characters. But if they could, because they've been working out, they've been sharing basically the profit. So if they can continue to profit share, I'm sure both people would make money from that.
Yeah. Just keep profit sharing, please.
It makes sense for the Young Avengers because Spider-Man's a name and nobody knows who the hell the Young Avengers are.
Yeah, and he's still young.
Yeah, he's super young.
Yeah, in high
So
school.
yeah, I'm totally down for that. In my final story of our fantastic podcast is a little local news. So I'm sure, as everybody is well aware, it's almost time to vote. You need to get out there and you need to put your votes in. Everybody absolutely should vote. I'm not going to tell you which way to vote, but you got to vote. I mean, this is the most important voting I think I've ever partook in. Now, here in Oregon, we always talk about how great Oregon is. And Oregon's famous for being very liberal, even though many of the states, people that live here hate that, but it is. It's a very liberal state. In fact, we're one of the early states to legalize marijuana, both medically and recreationally. So the next step has happened. On our ballots, because we got our little voters pamphlets have been arriving in the mail. We get a vote this year for magic mushrooms, legalizing the mushroom. So mushrooms, as anybody knows, are hallucinogenics, and you take the right mushroom, it makes you go all trip balls. And they want to legalize it medically, so anybody can get it. Because I guess I don't want to sound like a lame. I've never actually done mushrooms, and I might be a little too afraid to trip balls. But they're legalizing it because I guess it helps with a lot of different mental diseases and things like that.
There's like a lot of benefits. There's too
They
much
say
benefits of it, you know?
Yeah, and it's natural. So I kind of my feeling towards it is why I'm probably not a magic mushroom kind of guy. I'm not even really a weed guy. I think I can't discount the benefits, and it's all natural. It's like I get why cocaine and crack and meth and all this other crap is super bad and illegal, because it's man-made junk that's just gonna hurt you. Well, this other stuff is like the earth made this for you. It's like, here you go. You're supposed to enjoy it.
I mean, it's the same argument when weed, they were trying to do that with weed. You were saying the same exact thing.
The
It's
exact same
natural.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if in a year or so we have recreational magic mushrooms, and all of a sudden all the mushroom stores start popping up everywhere.
So how can we make money off of this?
Yeah, how do you get ahead of it? You have to see it. The key would be to be the mushroom farmer. So I'm assuming there must be a special way to grow these things. I have no idea, but I'm not a mushroom guy. But I will be voting yes for medical magic mushrooms. I say let's go. Why not? Doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I think getting like a license to actually grow, it's so much work because you got to do like check the ground, check the air, get the right water and all that crap. So I don't know if it's even worth it.
It's probably not easy at all, but I would imagine that they're probably worth a lot of money. So I have no idea, how do you grow mushrooms, how you even know. I don't know which ones are the ones that taste good on your spaghetti versus the ones that make you run around thinking you can see colors or smell colors. So it's like, who knows?
Maybe they'll start selling kits. Grow your own magic mushrooms in your backyard.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what happened here. So for those who don't live in Oregon, we can grow our own marijuana in our yards, up to 4 plants per household, as long as it's behind a fence and not, readily accessible to the Utes.
You know those plants that are like a freaking tree? Is that considered as one?
Yeah, I think so. Like Belushi Farms posted a picture of one that was literally like the size of a second-story house, and you're
It
like,
was like
what the heck?
9 foot high or something like that.
It's like, how did you grow one that big? What is this thing?
And that's just one plant, right?
Yeah, that's one plant. That'd be so
Damn.
funny. They came to check, and you're like, yeah, you got 4 of those things. It's just like your entire backyard.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, if you want to trip balls, come to Oregon. We're apparently all about it. But yeah, that's all I've got. Unless you got anything else you want to add before we, wrap this bad boy up.
We got to start attending like EDCs or something to use the shrooms.
Yeah, exactly. You got to go to your electronic stuff and like.
I've been missing that my whole life.
I know.
But yeah,
All right.
yeah, nothing.
That's it. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. So everybody have a fantastic time. Enjoyed the last episode of The Boys. We'll definitely be talking about that. So make sure you're all caught up by the next episode, and we will see you guys on the flippity flip. Bye.